Oh, that was way heavier than I thought it was gonna be. Holy sh... Hello and welcome back to Speed Freak Garage, home of PowerSports on YouTube. So, for those of you who are jumping into part 4 without watching 1, 2, or 3, we are doing a 2013 to 2019 engine swap in our 2013 FR-S. This is a 2019 BRZ limited engine. The problem is you can't take the new engine and put it in the car because Subaru, for their infinite wisdom, changed a bunch of shit. They changed the computer, the wiring harness, they changed the alternator, they changed the port injectors, they changed the cam trigger wheel, and they changed the cam sensors for those trigger wheels. They also changed the crank trigger wheel and crank trigger sensor and the mounting bracket for the crank trigger sensor. I think that's everything. May have missed 1 or 2 spots. Oh, and they changed the coil packs. So all of that has to come from the 2013 engine to the 2019 engine. Wonderful. So last time you may have watched us spend about 30 minutes trying to get this cover off. And the reason why we had so much trouble is we really did not have the right tools for the job. So I went and got the right tools for the job because we don't want to do that on the 2019. So now I have 5 different lengths of pry bars with some very strong, very nice handles that we can use to pry the engine case apart. I got some nylon pry bars that you can wedge in the case to hold it open without marring it, so then you can take this super heavy duty steel body carpet cutter and cut the RTV. And then when the cover is off and you need to clean it up, I got some plastic scraper blades so you can scrape the RTV without worrying about the aluminum. And I got gasket remover. Now, if you use gasket remover, you have to be extremely careful where you use it. In this case, you would only be able to use it on the timing cover, because if you use it, like say I'm going to use a gasket remover to scrape this off, well, the gasket remover could trickle down and get into the gasket here where the head is, or it could get into the gasket for the center of the block, because the whole engine is, in their infinite wisdom, put together with RTV. In fact, that is a huge shim on the head. Look at that. There's a shim. Wow. They shimmed the head and then RTV'd it together. Interesting. This side's shimmed too. But anyway, so you can't use this on the block side because you could dissolve a gasket that you don't want to. So you have to be careful with this. And then obviously wash the cover off really good before you put new RTV. And I got ultra black gasket maker with a bead forming nozzle, and you can adjust how big of a bead it forms. That way you don't use too much, because if you use too much, it will break off and get into your oil pump and shred your oil pump and destroy your brand new engine, which is not good. So Monday night I had a super high fever. It's been going around town. So I'm not feeling so well, even though it's Saturday now. So I'm going to probably just going to take the header off, maybe start on the oil pan. The headers have to come off so the oil pan can come off, because the oil pan is damaged. Now, whether or not you actually have to take the oil pan off to do this job, I mean, technically the oil pan is not attached to the timing cover. However, when you're in here and you're scraping all this stuff away, you're going to have to wash it down, and it's going to wash down into the oil pan. So that obviously it would be very bad to get dirt, you know, trapped in the oil pan that may or may not fit out through the drain plug. Like this could get, you know, stuck in the oil pan and it doesn't fit through the drain plug, and you know, unless it's perfect, so it could get sucked up your suction tube into the oil pump. So like here, this open hole, that's no good. I need to plug that. I need to plug this hole. I mean, this engine's trash, but on the 2019, I'm gonna have to plug all these holes before I start scraping, and I'm gonna have to be, I mean, all these little holes will have to be plugged somehow so I can scrape without worrying about getting stuff in them. It's not gonna be fun. So in order to remove the, I don't know if you'd call this a manifold or a header. I'm pretty sure it's tubular from the factory, which would make it a header. You gotta unplug and remove your sensors and then bring it loose, because if you just drop it with the sensors attached, you're gonna not have a good day. So this whole engine is like dusty from, I guess, sitting in the warehouse, or it could be dirt from the crash when the I don't know who crashed it. Somebody wrecked that car up really good. So I gotta be really careful with all this stuff. I can use these little mini drivers to, so the goal is to be able to come back and reuse all these factory mounting straps, because I can't imagine how much they'd probably try to cheat me for, you know, like $1 per. Yeah, no thanks. So I'm trying not to break them. It's not in a good spot. Okay. And I've learned, you know, a lot about how to get these free without messing them up from the 2013 engine. So trying to just, like, for example, this one's not really made to come back off. So you gotta get on the back side and push the little tongs so that it can come out like that, and then it'll stay attached to the wire. And same here, you just get the screwdriver in and push on that, and then come to the top, and it comes out, no problem. I'm pretty sure I have an O2 sensor wrench, like they're made for this. I'll have to double check. So we'll go ahead, get our bags ready. Last thing you want to do is get dirt in these sensors. So we have 2019 02 front. So front is before cat. 2019 02 rear. And technically, I'm not sure if both of these are actual O2 sensors, or if one is a wideband, one is a normal, or one's an EGT. I have no clue. I'm not really that worried about it. But I'm just gonna reference them as is for now. Let's see if I can find the right size wrench. It almost looks like a 1-inch. Got some sorted of course, this is always an option, not a good option, but an option. I'll start with a 21. Nope. 22. It's a 22. Well, the 22 is a little loose, actually. But I would Bet money that it's a 22. So, ooh, that wasn't very tight at all. I'll have to remember that and make sure I don't accidentally screw it up when I put it back on. Of course, make sure you keep your wire up so it doesn't get messed up. Make sure the sensor isn't got shit all over it. Nice, clean, fresh. So, I mean, the engine's only got 6,000 miles on it, so if there's anything wrong with any of this stuff when I take it apart, I'm gonna lose my head, because it's cost me, just in the little nitpicky parts and shit wrong with this, I mean, I've probably already spent almost $1,000 just replacing some of the stupid shit, like the oil pan, the cam sensor that was cracked, I had to replace the radiator. That was not, yeah. I don't think I'll ever be able to sell this to recuperate the cost of this swap, so I might get stuck with it and not sell it and just enjoy a nice running track ready car. Problem is there's nowhere around here to track race, which is sad. Okay. Alright, now we want this one. Yeah, it comes right out. That's awesome. So you can see this is actually a slightly different style of sensor. So, I mean, and I'm pretty sure the connectors are designed where you would have to be pretty dumb to accidentally, you know, mix them. So I'm sure it's happened, but come on. And when we put them back in, we'll use just a little tiny bit of anti-seize. You're not supposed to overdo it because it could get into the sensor. So I mean, just like a little tiny bit. That way, if we ever have to change them in the future, they'll come back out. You know, talking like lots and lots of miles. And they would start seizing into the header. Okay. Now, since we're not in the car, it should be pretty straightforward to remove the header, and because we only have 6,000 miles on it. The header has a really bad tendency to seize up, and especially if you have high miles or it's the dirt under there, then when you're trying to break loose the bolts on the header, they'll snap the stud in the block or the stud in the head. So even though this is brand new, I'm still gonna squirt some lube on it. I don't need to let it sit because it's brand new, but I really need I need a better drawer for like the big wrenches. Whatever. So let's get our lube. And that would be, no shit, did I run out and not buy more? Oh no, it's just ordered wrong. Rust release penetrant. Okay, and there's 3 on each side. So there's 2 in the front basically. And that one. Okay. There's 1 here, 1 here. And man, that one's hard to see. That one's dirty as hell too. Extra spray for it. Okay, there we go. All right. Now I'm going to guess it's a 14. We're gonna need a pretty good extension. And when we talk about the right tools for the job, an impact, I don't know how I ever lived my life without an impact. It doesn't have to be fancy electric, it could be an old air impact, it doesn't matter. Just need an impact. We're gonna set it right on up to full power. I guess first I should make sure this is the right size. Pretty sure it's 14. Feels right. I'm just so paranoid because that Porsche is all 13s. It's very odd. Okay. Oh, I almost forgot my own rule. Let's see. Because I'm going to need to reuse these. 2019. Well, I don't know if the new header comes with new bolts. I mean, for the price, you'd think it'd come with fucking 6 new bolts. But I've been disappointed on more than one occasion with, you know, common sense shit like that. So again, you know, if I'm trying to sell the car, why am I putting a new header on it? Well, this header sounds like garbage no matter what you do to the rest of the exhaust. And I'm building the car as if I'm going to keep it, because there's a chance I'll have to keep it, because you don't get your money out of race cars. It just doesn't happen. So now I would guess it's not smart to let this side hang and then take that side down, because you could tweak the, so we're just gonna like loosen this, but I'm gonna leave the nut on the end. Though those new headers better come with fucking new header gaskets, I swear. Oh, okay. Yeah, that. Yeah, trying to do this while it's in the car is a nightmare. It's awful. And then the turbo manifold that I put on, it was designed in a way that you couldn't get an impact like directly up to this inner bolt. Oh man, I spent maybe a full hour just trying to put the manifold on, maybe more. It was, ooh. Okay. No, not in the oil. God damn it. Motherfucker. Did not need that. Okay. Oh fuck, that was way heavier than I thought it was gonna be. Holy shit. Damn, it about took my arm off. Oh my God. And then the gaskets. Might actually, they don't look reusable. They look like they're crushed gaskets one time and you're done. Last thing you want's an exhaust leak. Okay, so now I'm going to need might actually be able to, let's do it this way. The reason why I'm plugging this is because you don't want anything big like a bolt to get in there, and then it'll shoot through and destroy the catalytic converter and then throw an engine light. So you need to, you know, have a little bit of courtesy to protect it. And then the engine, we're going to be spinning the engine around, so the last thing I want is to drop something up in there that should not be. What am I doing wrong here? I'm just not feeling good today. Okay, and then come on. Okay, then you don't have to worry about this side because it'll just shoot out the exhaust. So, all right. Now fuck. The oil pan. Ah, not a good day. Like I said, I'm probably going to end up having to reuse these. I doubt they're going to have the courtesy to send some fresh nuts. Everybody likes fresh nuts, but nobody sends them. So hopefully the new headers are designed so where I can just use an extension and tighten them down and then put a torque wrench on them and just make sure I had enough impacts. So just do that. Bring them over here, set them down. Okay. Now for our friend the oil pan. So we will need $2019 oil pan bolts. I guess I just don't really need to write bolts, but whatever. Okay. And if I remember correctly, those are 10s? guess I'd call that a 10. Probably get this out of the way so I don't have that mistake again. So I drained whatever was left over in the oil pan. So we can begin safety mode. Ooh, fuck. It was on Titan. Oh, that would have been really fucking bad. Wow, it would have fucking snapped the head right off that bolt. And of course it's filthy and covered in RTV. I have to clean each and every one of them off. I used way too much RTV. This engine's a fucking mess. I wish it wasn't so cold. I'd take it outside and hose it down. I mean, God, it's a fucking mess. Probably have to change the oil immediately after I drive it a little bit. Talking like maybe 100 miles of driving and then change the oil, because I'm sure there'll be little bits of dirt and shit in it. Fuck, like this whole side is covered in mud from something. I mean, I'll assume the wreck. Fuck. It's bad. Have to be wiped down. Now, in order to try to avoid making the mistake I did on the timing cover, I'm going to follow it all the way around. I can't get under there. Okay, make absolutely sure that there aren't any bolts left, because that was unbelievably embarrassing. Man, this fucking engine though, look at all this shit. Okay, all the bolts are out. How the fuck did that happen? Man, give me a break today. All right, 2019 oil pan bolts. Stick them here with the header. Now the oil pan is kind of a pain because it's just a thin steel flange. So I mean, you can pry it, but it's gonna bend this flange. I mean, obviously that one's trash anyway. The problem is you don't want to mar the aluminum surface by trying to pry the steel away. So my thought, maybe try, first of all, I don't know why these caps are even on here. thought is to just try and pry it loose. Maybe have to take the mallet and knock the pry bar in there. But you don't want to, like I said, you don't want to mar the aluminum surface. And I'm pretty sure I did this engines, when I did the turbo, I did this one with a screwdriver, which did mar the surface, and luckily the RTV was able to handle it, but there could be times where it's not. Yeah, so you can actually see the, well, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can see the steel pan bending. I mean, it's really a one-time, there's no way in hell you could reuse this pan unless you half-assed your job. So, if I leave, okay, so here, I'm gonna practice. So if we split the timing cover in the same manner, then the next step would be to wedge something in there to take the place of the pry bar that won't mar the surface. In this case, I'm gonna go with maybe this one. No, this one. So, gonna wedge this in here. It's really not going in. And this frickin' engine stand's trying to move on me. Come on. Nah, it's not budging. This is a pain in the ass job, especially by yourself. Come on. Get that fucking pry bar in there deep so it doesn't come back out. Oh boy. Come on, you bastard. Okay. Whew. Come back over here. Come on. Okay. And then get that in there. Okay. Okay, then we can probably just work our way around. Well, shit, that plan backfired. Ooh, this oil pan is not held on very well. That was way easier than the, oh no, there's a lot of oil in there. Oh, almost just threw that oil on myself. Their 2013 oil pan was way better adhered than that. Come back. And now you can drain. I didn't realize so much oil was still trapped in the pan even after you drain it. Probably is a good case for flushing it with a quart of cheap oil in the middle of the oil change. I mean, look at all that that's trapped down in the bottom that won't come out. Come on. Come on out of there. Ooh, what the fuck? Oh, it's from, yeah. So see, this oil pan was dented so bad it was actually right up against this tube here. Oh, of course they got RTV on it. And that tube's pretty damn important, I would say. So yeah, this oil pan was trashed. It would have been very dumb not to replace the oil pan, because it probably, with how close it is to that tube, it probably would have blown the engine. Okay, so I can stick the drain plug back in it. And then just shove it in the trash. Well, technically should not throw it away. Shit, I don't know what to do. Okay, I'm gonna salvage that. I'm gonna put that down in there, and then I'm gonna toss it. Bye-bye. Okay. Okay. We can move this out of the way. Take it back to its home. Not having a good day. Okay. Alright, and just that there. It's gonna drip oil. So these did a great job. So the pry bar especially was helpful. That's good, that's good. I'll have to find a place in the toolbox for it. And let's see. I can actually just put this with the new oil pan as a backup. You don't need two of them. It's kind of one of the scary things about the oil pan is that you got to get those seals, you know, in place and lined up when you install it. So, this one actually came with seals, but it doesn't hurt to have a third. Just toss it in there. Yep. So now we can kind of take a look at the this underside here is got gasket material on it, right? And it's got to come off. So that's gonna suck. So I'm gonna let this oil and stuff like drip down and out probably for another week. I don't know if I'll be in the garage tomorrow to take all the stuff off the top or not. Haven't really decided on that. I'm just not feeling good. So but basically once all this is done dripping off, then I can crawl under and start scraping. And you know, like especially this piece here is just, that's definitely not good, and it's gonna have to come off somehow. It's kind of wedged up in there, but yeah, we'll have to figure it out. don't know. That's really all I can take for today. I just feel like shit. Anyway, let's see. Don't have like a good exit thumbnail. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.